You're listening to the Crew Talk Podcast, a conversation about chasing growth.
Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all, welcome back to the Crew Talk. I have no idea what episode this is or when it's getting posted, but it'll be up there sooner or later. As y'all can see with my friend, I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell a little bit about her backstory, and then we just get into it.
Hey y'all, my name is Cheong. I'm from Pennsylvania. I have 5 siblings. I'm the only girl, and I met Tim through SGU. We're both second year medical students. He's a lame, but I have him as my friend.
Okay, so I'm a lame. Alright, so you met at SGU. How did you get to SGU? Like, what's your backstory? Besides being the only sister. Fun fact.
So I always knew I wanted to be a doctor, like, from the age of 5, because my mom was sick when I was young, and, like, 2 weeks after she had me, she had a massive heart attack. And then, kind of, like, as I was growing up, she was still dealing with heart stuff, and then always, like, in and out of the hospital, and that was kind of what I was around. And then I went to college, and I decided to major in, like, biology, but, like, one of the big things for me is I wanted to still, like, do sports in college, because I really enjoyed it in high school. So I wanted to be not just a number in the classroom, and I wanted to still, like, excel in my sports. So I went to Moravian College, now known as Moravian University. And I think I excelled there pretty well.
What sport did you do?
I did track and field.
Okay, and were you good, bad, average?
I was good.
Hype
I'm
yourself
gonna toot
up.
my horn a little bit. I was good. I broke some records while I was there. I ran hurdles, 100-meter hurdles and 60-meter hurdles indoor. I did high jump and long jump. And then my sophomore year, I did the pentathlon, which is high jump, long jump, hurdles, threw a shot put, and ran an 800-meter.
Do you do that? Is that all, like, back to back? Or it's
it's all in one day.
But, like, each one is, like you do one, everyone stops, they go on to the next one?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if it was, like, a race to finish them.
No, it's just, however, like, if you score first in your event for, like, that one event, then that gets more points to your overall score.
So you're a pentathlonian?
Sure, yeah. I did it twice.
Okay, a little pentathlonian.
That really took a lot on my body because I was doing 2 a days, like one early in the morning, like 6 a.m., and then I would have practice again at 4 a.m. So I realized I couldn't do this for the rest of my career.
You're not built like us.
No, I'm not.
Hey, we used to 2 a day. Shout out to all my teammates.
Hey man, you guys got it. Track's a better sport though, football.
Hot take. Okay.
So that was my track career in Moravian. I broke the high jump record my freshman year outdoor, and that wasn't. I think I was the only one to break it within 25 years.
Oh wow,
when I got there. Yeah. And then my sophomore year indoor season, I broke the indoor record.
Okay.
And then I got some medals and that kind of stuff, so it was cool. I was a bio major at Moravian, and I didn't really know the ins and outs of college, so I always thought, like, you had 1 GPA, so I kind of got lost in the sauce first 2 years of, like, being an athlete, wanting to, like, go out with my friends, and, like,
we all do.
Yeah. Like, just, hey, as long as I get 2 A's in a class, a B or B minus, like, it'll average out.
Right.
But then I realized you have a science GPA. So
the doubting science GPA.
The science GPA is what really got me down my sophomore year, and then I knew I had to kick it back up junior year and senior year, and I was able to pull my 4.0s. So then I decided to go to a master's program in Virginia.
Okay. But get a master's in what?
Biomedical science.
Okay. Big science girl.
Yep. I love science, hence why I'm here at SGU.
I don't love science, but I'm still here, so.
Hey, we're just built different.
Okay. Alright, so master's program.
Yeah, so master's program.
Virginia.
Yes, okay. I went to VCOM, so Edward College of Osteopathic Medicine, to get my master's, and that was right by Virginia Tech, so we, like, shared a campus. And that was, like, a transition. I'm a very comfortable person.
We know that, for sure.
I like to be comfortable. I like to be in my safe space. So whenever I have to get up and leave to go somewhere else, that really throws me off a little bit. So moving to Virginia, 6 hours away from home and, like, family, it was a big transition. Like, the first weekend there, I drove back home because I was that I'm homesick.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think once I found my people, I was able to adjust,
Mhm.
and those friends became family now. So I'm so thankful for them, and we were able to excel well in our program. And then I decided to go home for a little bit and work and study for my MCAT.
Mhm.
I took the MCAT 3 times. First 2 times,
Oh, we all did.
yeah, the first 2 times knocked me down bad, and then I realized I needed to take a prep class.
Right.
So I did a prep class, and I took it in January of
Mhm.
2020, and I did well. But then I realized, like, wow, my age is getting older. I'm not getting younger. So
Unlike me, I'm a young buck, y'all.
how old are you, Timothy?
I'm 25.
Okay, nice to know.
What's that about?
I'm 26, guys, but that's really
It's all about being born. Oh, you're born in '96. I was about to.
absolutely.
Oh, okay, well I can't use that. All right, go ahead. Took the third MCAT.
Yep. And then once I got my score back, I was happy with it. And then I said, you know what? I don't want to wait another year. I want to go to med school now.
Right.
And I think this was in the height of when the pandemic was starting to pick up.
Mhm.
And the first school I applied to was AUC, and I got accepted on Valentine's Day. I was at work, and I remember getting the call and the email, and I was like, "Whoa, go to med school! Go to med school!" That was the only Caribbean med school I applied to at the time.
Mhm.
And I knew about SU, but I was kind of skeptical
Right.
about SU because it was so large, and going online and reading like just horror stories. Like
Right.
they don't like want you to excel, which I don't think that's true, but
Not a stereotype, you know.
yeah. So I took that into account. I was like, wow, like I don't want to go there. But then when I started looking at like the match list and knowing like I wanted to go into emergency medicine and seeing how many students were matching into emergency medicine, I said, maybe I should apply.
Yeah. It's really enticing when you see the numbers.
Yeah, so then I applied to SGU, and then I got in.
Okay, so before we jump into medicine, go hard with that. If you could have chosen any other career, or if you could see yourself doing something besides medicine, what would that have been?
I would have been a microbiologist for the CDC. Yeah, I think I would have went and got my PhD.
So you'd have been in the thick of that COVID shit.
Absolutely.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
In terms of research. So I feel like it's like a heavy research field though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I hate research,
Mhm.
but I love research in microbiology. It's so easy to like write a paper or write like my procedures out.
Yeah.
And I just find it like I could stay in the lab for hours. I did a research project my senior year in college
Same.
for micro.
So I did mine in the School of Medicine. I did like on the HER2 and BRCA and stuff like that. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I don't like the bench. I don't like having to like pipette. I don't like any of that stuff.
I
Really?
love dilutions. I love
The centrifuge and all that.
Yeah, I mean for micro though. I feel like if it's any other research, it's not as interesting to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the lab that you worked on was one of the ones where you like put your arms with the gloves.
No, so it wasn't. I didn't work there. I did it for like a research project in school.
Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't have to.
No, they had the biofilm, like the biohood, but I put my hand in it, no gloves.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we're not fancy like.
We didn't have. I'm saying we didn't have that either, but I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
No, yeah. I was just dealing with E. coli,
Oh, it's, okay, yeah.
so nothing.
Explain to people what E. coli is. Give them a quick.
Alright, guys. So E. coli is a gram-negative bacteria.
Ooh, that is smart.
You see it like we actually have it in our gut. It's there. It's healthy, but the problem is when it gets out in places it shouldn't be. That's when we get sick.
Okay, y'all comment and say if you understood what she's talking about. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next thing.
I'm sorry, guys. If not, I'm a bad teacher.
All right, so okay, SGU medicine.
Okay.
What's I guess a big question that people don't really talk about is like, what is it like being a female going into medicine? Because like like stereotypically, women have to give up more in their careers if they're going to have families and things like that. Are those things that you think about being a female in medicine?
Absolutely. So, for me, I think medicine is a male-dominant field already, and I think growing up with boys, I am dominant.
Okay.
So when I get around a group of guys that are smart or they seem like they're dominant, it doesn't scare me as much. It makes me want to work harder and show you, like, I'm just as smart as you, maybe even smarter.
Big talk, I like that.
So, going into a male-dominant field, I know, like, there are a lot of things that weigh heavy on my heart when I think about, like, my family life, my relationship life, what I want that to look like. I want to be a mom that is there, and medicine is hard on itself. Like, it's taxing. You have patients, you lose patients. So I don't want to take away from family life, though. So I want to be able to balance that. And one of the careers that I do want to go into is like emergency medicine. And one of the things that I love about it, it's shift work. So you go in, you do your shift, and then you go home. And I'm not taking everything home with me. I mean, the days that aren't good, I know they won't be good, and I'll have to deal with that. But it's a few shifts, and then I'm home with my kids. I'm home with my husband. Like, you know, that kind of thing in the long-term future.
Do you feel as though emergency, like, you lean more towards emergency medicine because of the lifestyle?
I think not so much. I mean, it kind of fits with what I want to do. I really love the fast pace. I love seeing like the diversity of patients, young, old, in between, and then just kind of like the minimal procedures like suturing, lumbar punctures, like all of that kind of stuff that you may not be able to do in other specialties if you're not like in surgery.
Right.
So I feel like I like that. I like the fact that I have to think quick. I'm in control of someone's life acutely until I can get them stable and pass them on to who I need to next.
That's big shit.
So like, if I need to do a neuro consult, hey, Dr. Dawson, can you come consult this patient for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but I got them stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ideally, say we got 2 more years of school. I am EM residencies with 3 years.
Yeah. So anywhere from 3 to 4.
Okay, so 7 years from now, what does life look like for you? Ideally.
7 years.
Attend Dr. Cheong, first year attending. What does that look like?
Yeah. It looks like I hope I'm married and I have like a stable family and hopefully 2, maybe 3 kids max.
by first year.
Attending, yes.
Oh wow.
I kind of want to enjoy I want to enjoy my kids growing up, and I still want to be like young, and I want to be like a cool mom.
Yeah.
Mom is badass. She's a doctor. We have this beautiful home and like great family.
That's what's up. I feel that. So, I guess we all have like inspirations that like help guide our paths. Who is someone that like you look up to or like is where you want to be? Well, they don't have to necessarily be where you want to be. Someone like who like gives you motivation to do what you do.
I think my mom.
Okay.
Hands down. I grew up in a single family home, and like seeing my mom do everything on her own. I mean, we have like my grandma who was there, of course, and my aunts and uncles, but like really just seeing like my mom get up every morning at 3 a.m. And then take the bus to New York City, go to work, come back home like 8, 9 p.m. at night, cook dinner for me, like my brothers, and go to bed and do it again the next day. It was like, wow, like she's someone I want to be when I grow up. And like when I'm hard on myself, having her like, if there's anyone that can do it, it's you, Melissa. Like no one else can do this but you. And then it just showed me like she did it, and she had 3 kids.
Right.
And she's awesome.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. I relate with that because, I mean, my mom and dad were together, but my dad was in the military, and then after he got out of the military, he still worked overseas. So, like, I basically grew up in a single mom household, and it was weird, like going to like practice and going to games, and like seeing like other kids with mom and dad, but I didn't have that. But it wasn't for like the stereotypical reason.
Right.
So, how did that affect you in any way?
I don't think so, because even though my mom couldn't come to everything, I had really good friends in high school. So like their parents were my parents.
Okay.
So like I would see like my best friend's mom and dad. I'm like, hey mom, hey dad. And they would come to like honor society stuff, but my mom knew she couldn't make it, and like we created a community where it was like if one parent couldn't come, like someone else was there to like cheer us on.
I feel it. I like that.
So like.
So that community, that village mentality.
Yeah, and that's like another thing. Like I value friendships like very highly. So like when my friends have kids, like I want them to know like, hey, it's Auntie Mel. Like whenever you need something, like call me. Like if mom and dad can't be there, like and I can, like I will be there.
I like that.
So,
what is something? I guess like probably kind of hard to answer, but something that the medical career like scares you.
Everything.
I mean, yeah, pick one. Because I feel like people always like, okay, you interview someone who's a med student, you interview someone who's a doctor, like you want like the glitz and glamour, like what's some cool things? But like what's something that like, damn, like am I really ready for this?
I'm scared of getting in front of a patient and not knowing what to do. So I feel like in school it's so easy to have a lecture and you know the lecture top to bottom and you answer a multiple choice question. But if you're my patient, you're not multiple choice.
Right.
I have to know. I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
What if I can't figure it out? That scares the living crap out of me.
Yeah, that's real. It's definitely real. I mean, you know, I want to do surgery, so it's like, I'm not gonna say one is easier than the other, but like in emergency medicine, it's like seconds matter. In surgery, seconds do matter, but it's a little bit slower. It's like you're on the back end of like trying to fix a problem. Whew.
I mean, every day in the emergency room, at least from shadowing, isn't always like, like I have to be quick.
Right.
But when it is quick, you have to know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever been put in a flustered environment to like have to know something.
Or at least like with that many factors going into it.
Yeah.
Because we've all been in like tough situations, but you're someone's life is never in your hands until someone's life is in your hands. You know what I mean? You really can't like prep for that.
No, you can't.
Damn, that was a bar, huh?
Yeah. Let me just drop the mic now.
Yes. Okay, so do you have any like mentors or like people in medicine who like I want to be like them, or like what they do is interesting to me?
Yeah, actually, well, I wouldn't say a mentor, but someone I want to be like. I worked for a doctor when I was a scribe,
right.
And he was a general surgeon, and he just gave me warm, fuzzy feeling when he talked to his patients.
Yeah.
It was just like you sat down and like you felt his presence, and it wasn't like I'm rushing to get to the next patient, even though we have a 20-minute supply. And sometimes we would sacrifice our lunch, which
is not ideal. Yeah, not ideal at all.
I'm starving. I still have to type these notes up.
Right.
But he really just was there for his patients. Like, you know, it was a family environment.
Yeah.
And that's also, it kind of makes me sad in emergency medicine that lacks, like, the physician-patient relationship.
Right.
Because I like that coming in saying, like, oh, hey, Tim, how's your family doing? How are you doing? Like, not just how you're doing health-wise, but how are you as a whole? How's your life outside of your health?
Yeah.
So I think like that really matters to me, and sometimes emergency medicine makes me go, that I won't get that.
Right. Quick pin. What is a scribe? For people who don't know what that is.
Okay, so a scribe is someone that goes with the doctor, and they will listen to what the doctor and the patient says, and they'll type it in a formal note. So, you know, when the patient's like, I have belly pain, and it's been going on for this long, you type that in a section, and when the physician says something like, okay, these are the physical findings, you type that in another, or if he's like, put this order in for me, you have to find the medication or find the test or the lab and put it in the chart.
Gotcha. Back to the balance between, like having a relationship with patients and more so just like treating them and going about your business. There's a benefit and a negative to both.
Yes.
Talk about that.
The benefit is you don't get attached.
Right.
I feel like I get very attached when I care for people and when people are sick. So like, if something is life threatening and you have to break that news, I feel like that can be extremely hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would be the doctor that might have to shed a tear either before I enter the room or after you leave the room. With emergency medicine, I don't really have that strong of a connection. So yes, it is sad if someone doesn't make it,
but there's no
there's no history.
Exactly.
There's no
depth to the relationship.
Yes.
Do you think this dude having real talk like this, like real like behind the scenes medical stuff? Do you think being in emergency medicine and I guess for worst case scenarios, seeing death so often and not being attached could affect you personally?
I've thought about that before. I honestly don't know. I feel like maybe I can become detached, and I think that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
I never want to feel like I'm detached.
Right.
And I've seen emergency med docs that are like, hey, it happened. And maybe that was their reaction because I was there, and I don't really know what goes through their head when I'm not there, but I think I would want to be able to talk about it and not be detached. Like, I would want to feel a little sad. Or obviously, I can't feel sad where it consumes my life, but, you know, like, hey, like, this was a hard loss.
I definitely think that regardless of, like, what path you go with, it's like you have, like, long journeys with the patient and you lose them, or it's like you see 7 in a day and you lose more than 50% of them. It definitely builds up. And it just depends on the person. So
yeah,
I think people underestimate. Like they'll just assume that one is easy because of the lack of relationship.
Well, let me ask you. You want to go into surgery, so like, how does losing your patients? How do you think that will affect you?
So, like we said, you don't know what it's like to lose a life until you lose a life. So I'm basing everything I see off of like documentaries, shows, and otherwise. And from like the surgeons and the shows and like the way they depict it, it seems very much a personal journey. Whereas though like you either keep track of it, or you brush it off, or you just deal with it on your own. I'm very much the kind of person to deal with things on my own. But I feel like personally, my journey would be like somehow keeping track of it. That way, like, it keeps me grounded, but I'm not, like, up in arms every time it happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's gonna happen. But you don't want to be a robot, and you don't want to be like an overly emotional person.
Right.
So, like, I guess finding my personal coping mechanism. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, good plan.
Okay, so one of the motto for the podcast is like chasing growth, like doing something every day to either learn something new or like be a better version of yourself. How do you approach life in terms of chasing growth? Big question.
That's a loaded question.
To end the talk. But
yeah.
Personally, mentally, spiritually, whatever, career based.
I think I sometimes think like so fast, I'm like jumping ahead. So what I try to do, and it doesn't always work, but like be in the moment.
Okay.
And I feel like that itself is growth. Because if I'm not in the moment, am I really growing? Like I'm always worrying about the next thing.
That's a bar. My senior year, one of my position coach, he would like write quotes down on like our playbook for the week, and I don't remember what week it must have been like the last week of the season, but he wrote, "It's not about the destination; it's about the journey to the destination." And I don't know. Ever since I saw that in writing, that's like stuck with me. You know? I feel like that resonates with what you're saying.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like especially being, well, not just medicine, but any career, like when you're in the front of it, you're like, when am I done? When is this over? When is like, but then when it's over, you're in another situation.
Exactly.
And then you're going to think, when is it over? So when do you actually enjoy
what you're doing?
Exactly.
I feel that.
So I think that's what I try to do.
That's how Cheong chases growth, y'all.
Yes.
I want to thank her for coming out. Well, she didn't really come out. I came to her house to do this. So, thank her for taking the time to talk to us and talk to y'all. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yes, thanks guys.
Peace.
Bye.